All right, on the 10 p.m. debate tonight, we've got GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP and Ratan Sharda, an author, on one side of the debate. On the other side, we've got Dr. Sunil Kumar Singh of the JDU and Suneet Chopra, leader of the CPIM and All India Joint Secretary for All India Agriculture Workers Union. So we'll be going to him for more insights on what's happening in the agriculture sector. We're also waiting for Rahul Narwekar of the NCP to join us. Now, before we begin this debate, I just also want to very quickly go through what the government has announced today in terms of additional measures. A lot of them have to do with rural India and specifically the farming sector. So they can now withdraw about 25,000 rupees per week against crop loans. They can sell their produce in APMC markets and draw 25,000 rupees. In fact, APMC traders can also withdraw a higher amount of money, up to 50,000 per week versus about 24,500 that a common man can. The crop insurance premium limit has been pushed by 15 days. And of course, a big issue that was raised by the opposition was about weddings and how are people going to go about holding their weddings. In that, after massive outrage, the households can now withdraw about 2.5 lakh rupees for weddings. So there's some of the measures that have just been announced today. But GVL Narasimha Rao, these measures are most welcome. A lot more we are hoping will come in the coming days also. Do you think a lot of this could have happened right away if there was better planning maybe in place and better preparations and studies done? Could the government have come out with these kind of exemptions right away when the scheme was announced 10 days ago?
No, you see, when you do something unprecedented, when you do something that is being done for the first time, you cannot imagine every situation that will unfold. And for a responsive government, it is important to review the situation almost on an hourly basis and then come up with exceptions to give relief to the common people without compromising your overall objective of this entire demonetization
But
drive.
it's equally more essential, like you said, GVL Narasimha Rao, it's equally more essential that when you come out with such an unprecedented move, and it's been welcomed by almost the entire country, citizens who are still suffering today are still backing your government on this move. Now, for those people, could you have been better prepared? It doesn't take really rocket science to kind of know what kind of problems, especially the rural India will face, the traders will face, small-time businessmen will face when there is such a big cash crunch. I'm certain that the experts told your government that these issues must be addressed.
So a lot of preparation was done. Even at the time when the Prime Minister addressed the nation, a series of measures were announced. But certainly, with every passing week or every passing day, you certainly know what is the. We don't want any normal economy or economic activities of the people to be affected. Therefore, I think as we come to know better and more information, we are reviewing it on a real-time basis. Yeah. I think for a government that is responsive and sensitive, I think it's what is expected of us to make exemptions which people cannot really make any any negative use of. My audio is still not fixed.
Okay, I will just fix your audio. GVL, we'll fix your audio. We'll fix your audio. Rahul Narwekar, I want to bring you here because one of the key measures or changes in the next couple of days is likely to impact the common man. In fact, one of them, of course, the Prime Minister announced on November 8th that exchanging old notes could be done till the 30th of December. But what started off as an exchange with a limit of 4,000 will now be brought down to 2,000 rupees per person. Who will be most hit with this change, Rahul? Will it be those who are living in rural areas who have to travel 50 to 100 kilometers we hear in some places to get to the nearest bank?
Well, I've heard Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao for some time now, and from whatever he stated, one thing is clear, that the government has totally failed to assess the impact of this demonetization scheme. So I'm happy that the government or the BJP representatives have at least conceded to the fact that they have failed to assess the impact. Number two, everyone has been calling this a surgical strike on the parallel economy of this country. But let me tell you, what I term as a surgical strike is a well-planned, assessed, well-judged attack. not a haphazard decision which has been taken today.
Yeah.
The thought is extremely good. There is no doubt about the fact that black money has to be absolutely eradicated from our system. But while doing that, what we've achieved in the bargain is that the treatment
GVL.
has become a bigger problem than the disease itself.
GVL, would you accept that 9 days later, the fact that you're bringing in so many measures, GVL, would you accept that 9 days later, the fact is every day we have new measures coming in, which is good. Which is good because you have a receptive government which is listening to what people want and bringing in changes. But one change, for example, that I just mentioned, the exchange value from 4,000, it goes down to 2,000 rupees.
Let me tell you, these changes are not enough. Let me tell you, these changes are also not well thought about.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, for example, you've given exemption, you've given some higher exemption to APMC traders.
Yes.
Now, APMC traders, there are many of them who are operating as proprietorship concerns. Now, what are you going to do with them?
Yes.
They will be withdrawing amounts for their household expenses. At the same time, they'll be withdrawing expenses for their business purpose. Now, how are you going to differentiate these two?
Okay, GVL.
Now, proprietorship concern.
GVL, you want to take that up?
Account holding.
So there are two parts. One is a specific question of Rahul Narwekar on the APMC traders and how the increased limit really resolves the entire problem. And the larger question is what Rahul Narwekar said, that you weren't prepared and you accept that now.
No, you see, when you have a diverse country, you don't have the same cropping season all over the country. You don't have the same lending system prevailing all over the country. So therefore, some parts of the country, a new situation might emerge. No government can visualize situation in every district in the country. So can I just finish? I did not interrupt.
Okay, make your point.
No, a
Rahul,
trader.
let him make his point. Rahul, let him make his point.
Come on, can I finish? Yeah. I think a 50,000 limit has been imposed given to traders who are registered with the APMC mandis. So I don't, if they are having the same account for personal purposes as well as for their business transactions, they might suffer. I think, or tomorrow they may have to. This is a new situation, what you said. It doesn't have to happen everywhere. Maybe it happens in a particular mandi.
But
it may happen with a few people. But should they be given any additional?
I can think of them.
Should they be?
I can think of them.
I think for the first time.
I thought about them.
Can I?
Yeah, make your point.
You can't think through every malpractice that happens in this country.
Complete your point.
And for people, now you see, everyone is complaining for weddings. There is no ban on marriages. There is no restriction on spending money on marriages.
GVL, I think the point he's making is you waited for 9 days before you brought in the change. I think the point that he's making is for 9 days you did nothing. Of course, now you've given
should
them.
We have waited for 90 days?
No. He's trying to say.
We have waited for 60 days to get over.
So how long are you going to wait, GVL, to come out with specific schemes for medical and healthcare? Surely just saying that you can exchange old notes at government hospitals will be the end of it. What about the private hospitals? What about people who need emergency cash in hand? If you can make that exception for the weddings, isn't healthcare also equally, if not more important? Or are you waiting for an outrage on that as well?
No, any exception, any exemption can only be done which does not conflict with the objectives of the scheme. If tomorrow everybody wants to misuse a particular exemption or exception, that is actually going to defeat the very purpose of the scheme.
Well, the misuse is still happening.
Any exception can be granted only after a thorough review, only after examining, after plugging all the loopholes, because everybody otherwise tomorrow claim there is a marriage in my family, I want 2.5 lakhs to be drawn.
Yes. So the point here is, GVL Narasimha Rao, these kind of things could have probably been better anticipated. Ratan Sharda, I just want to get your viewpoint on this. Some of these issues are very
unscrupulous people. You have to ensure only the needy, only those who actually are in dire need of it can avail the particular exemption, but it is not taken as a loophole by unscrupulous people.
No, it's not about
unscrupulous. No, 1 second. It's not about
used
by unscrupulous.
So we back your move when you do the crackdown on those unscrupulous people.
The problem today is in the effort of nailing down 10 guilty people, we are actually causing immense inconvenience.
Okay, I just want to,
can you tell me who this?
Irreparable to thousands of people who are innocent.
Okay, I think GVL, Rahul, that was Rahul Narwekar.
In this country, come on, these are very, very. very
May I come
very
in?
unthoughtful comments.
Yeah,
You think
okay.
only 10 people in this country have unaccounted money?
No,
Do
no,
you
we
know
got.
what is, can you count them? Can you
Mr.
list
GVL
them? Can you tell
Narasimha
me how
Rao,
much
we are
money they
giving you an
have? Tomorrow we will
example.
go and get it from
We
there.
are giving you an example.
Because you don't know, it's a widespread phenomena. There
GVL,
are,
I think his
there are
argument
several thousands and lakhs of people who have unaccounted money,
GVL.
and that cannot be carried, that cannot be traced through only raids.
GVL, I
You
think his
need a
argument
scheme
is
like this.
GVL, I think his argument is that instead of a surgical strike on black money, have you sort of done a carpet bombing? I think that's the argument that Rahul Narwekar is trying to bring to the debate
People
here.
have appreciated it widely.
Yeah, they have.
So
They have.
Poor
They have.
people have nothing
But
to hide.
Who's not?
Poor people have
Everyone is
appreciated because they have nothing
appreciating
to
the
hide.
fact that black money has to be eradicated from our system. But the manner in which it is being done is being doubted. People
Okay,
have a
just
problem
quickly
with
getting in
that.
the other panelists as well. GVL and
Mr.
Rahul Narwekar, GVL Narasimha Rao and Rahul Narwekar. 1 minute. Let the other people also make some points. We widen the scope of the debate as well through that. I want to bring in Ratan Sharda and Suneet Chopra as well. Rahul Narwekar, you'll get your turn again. Please wait on. Let the other people also speak. Ratan Sharda and Suneet Chopra on this. Now, Ratan Sharda.
Rahul ji, please.
Yes.
Please, yes.
Yes. While you make your
May I
point,
come
I
in?
also want you to
See,
answer
first
this
of all,
question of mine.
I would salute the common citizen of the people. I would first of all salute the common citizens of this country who have been standing in queues with patience for days.
Yes.
They are still supporting demonetization. We should not fan fires of dissatisfaction. Yes, there have been serious logistics problems. It is not small problem.
So
To
let's
say
go
that
there,
we are
Mr.
careful that
Sharda.
people don't exploit.
Mr. Sharda, let's
we,
go there.
in a
Like
lighter manner,
you
very
said,
innovative
and
people,
till now
we
on
have
this
exploited
debate,
all the loopholes.
nobody has taken
People
the
have
credit
stood
away
in line
or
for
said that
rich
the move
people.
is wrong, Mr. Sharda. Like you said, so let's not even go there. I think everybody, even the common citizens
Yeah,
on
so
the
I am
road,
saying
are
there is-
completely backing
yes,
the move.
yes, I
But
am
there are
saying-
issues. There are
I am saying
logistical
there
and
is serious lacuna.
Yes.
Let us understand.
So my question to you is, Mr. Sharda.
Let us understand 85%
People are traveling
of
50
currency
kilometers
for all the
to
wrong
100
reasons
kilometers
was in
to an
high
ATM,
notes.
Mr. Sharda. Just let me finish my question.
Yes,
People
I
are
understand.
traveling to 50 to 100 kilometers to an ATM.
Oh, yes.
Between 40 villages in Uttar Pradesh, there is one bank available, one ATM. Now, as much as the government can try and refill that one specific outlet again and again, it's not going to be enough. Now, the government has been working towards this. They have come out with Jan Dhan Yojana. They wanted to ensure everybody has a bank account access. But do you think in implementation, they could have done this better? They could have ensured that there is more available in those rural areas. They
Yes,
could have
I
ensured
believe-
that everybody has access to a financial institution is in the
Yes.
system before this move was done.
When 1 week back I came on Times Now, I clearly said that we need more branches, we need more post offices having the money. It was easy for the government to fill up smaller currency notes to banks and to post offices even before step was taken. That would not raise the doubt in the people's mind, because people would feel that, okay, for festival, you're given the smaller change. Unfortunately, when you say 85% currency in big notes, it was a very, very unreasonable way of running the economy, which is basically on cash. We are not a plastic economy, will never be a plastic economy in a short term. So we needed cash. If we had spread out smaller cash in the villages all over the places without raising any doubt, we would have been much better placed now rather than standing there for 1,000 rupees and 2,000 rupees notes.
Yeah.
So there is a mistake. They are correcting it. BJP government is doing a lot to correct it, but said it could have been handled better, no doubt about it.
Yeah, implementation, that's part one. And Suneet Chopra, I just want to ask you this question, because I think there's also an element of confusion, not just for the person on the ground, for the those who are lining up outside ATMs. In fact, all of us, including me and including Tanvi, we've all stood in queues, long queues at that. But it's not just the implementation, there's also confusion on the ground.
I would just make one point.
Okay.
There was no notice board in the banks telling what exactly is the rule. Why the rules were not put on the posters on the banks, that is the biggest problem.
Yeah, proactive
You
rule
go
needs-
to the bank, you don't know which line is for what,
Yeah.
what is the right, what are you going to carry as the ID.
Yeah.
Very basic issues were not solved.
Yeah, Ratan Sharda, I want to come to the element of confusion, because I think it's important to talk about that, because the good news is there are proactive measures being taken. Every day there are measures being taken. Hopefully by the government's own estimate, in the next couple of weeks, things will be back to normal. But my question to Suneet Chopra is, for example, a week ago, the Economic Affairs Secretary announced that new 1,000 rupee notes would be introduced soon. This is the Economic Affairs Secretary, right? But the Finance Minister, Suneet Chopra, says there are no such plans. So is there an element of, do you think there is an element of confusion, or the perception is that somewhere there is miscommunication and the government is really unaware, or there is a little sense of confusion in implementation of this demonetization?
Actually, miscommunication is a very polite word for what it is. In fact, what we have here is a total lack of concern for the Indian people. You don't do this kind of thing when the farmer needs money for seed, for fertilizer, when he has maybe to pay for a tractor on his field. He has to pay his laborers. You don't do this kind of thing. And then, when you come out with contradictory statements, as like the one about the 1,000 rupee note, you know that people who contradict themselves in this way are not in fact being serious.
Yeah, Suneet Chopra, can you tell us about the farming community? Because Suneet Chopra, because you represent a farmer's body.
And the limit of hiding is, sorry, just one sentence,
Okay.
And behind this hiding is a Prime Minister who is hiding from Parliament.
No, he's not hiding from Parliament. I think the government has agreed to a debate. The government has agreed to a debate. Just putting a point out there that the government has agreed to a debate.
Not the government agreeing to a debate. Mr. Modi.
Okay, why does GVL, you want to take that question?
One of those members.
GVL, that's what the government
was in Parliament yesterday. He was there today. It is the opposition which is running away from a debate. It is the opposition which finds itself completely out of depth and out of arguments and doesn't want to debate.
So I don't think anybody is running away from a debate here.
A debate yesterday.
Suneet
Debate
Chopra
went on for the whole day yesterday in Rajya Sabha. Why did opposition run away from debate today on some flimsy ground? Why have they not initiated a debate in Lok Sabha?
There were no flimsy ground.
I think it's opposition which is running away.
What was the Prime Minister doing yesterday? He should have been
in Parliament
of the debate.
He went to Lok Sabha. He was in Parliament. I think, is it the convention of Parliament that the Prime Minister should sit through entire debate?
The Lok Sabha was
should he sit in? Is there a need? You can't blackmail.
There was no
you can't blackmail government.
Okay. Let's go back to the point, Suneet Chopra, and we wanted you to speak more. Yes, Suneet Chopra, just 1 minute. Let's go back to the point here.
The people of India.
Which were the issues that the country is facing right now, and what could be the possible solutions? Now,
why are you running away from a debate?
Yes, the point also is now a lot of opposition leaders spoke yesterday in the upper house, including Sitaram Yechuri. Sitaram Yechuri actually got a lot of time. Yes, please listen to my question. Please listen to my question. Sitaram Yechuri got a lot of time yesterday in the upper house to make his point, to represent his party, to speak about this issue. You know, and he actually made a lot of political points. He lashed out at the government. He lashed out at Prime Minister Modi. He spoke about the trucks that are stranded on the roads. He spoke about the problems that the common man is facing. But there was not much that he said in terms of what the government can do.
When the fish were
there wasn't much that he said in terms of what the government can do to make this easier. Now the scheme has come. It's been implemented. Yes, there are problems. What is it that your party actually has to bring on the table to say, hey, do this, implement this, and resolve the situation? Let's make it a constructive debate then. Suneet Chopra.
How do you become constructive when the Prime Minister ignores all that you have been saying? Tell me. Constructive means he should be there listening first.
The rest of the top ministers are there. Are you saying that the rest of the top ministers who are handling this issue every day, Arun Jaitley, who is personally holding meetings with his financial experts every day, don't matter? The entire top set of ministers of the government are there.
Experts obviously are not so fine as experts, and they have to say themselves that we miscalculated.
Yeah, Suneet Chopra,
I think this is the arrogance of the
Suneet Chopra, I think we've sort of established that so far. We've already established that, Suneet Chopra, because you spoke about why the Prime Minister should be there to bring about changes and realize, I think the government has accepted. No, the government has accepted. That is why they're bringing out different measures day after day. And I've also put that question, Rahul Narwekar, you can take that after GVL, right? They have also accepted that yes, implementation could have been better. That's why we're taking it one day at a time. GVL, I think the point he's trying to make is that...
Right. Hang on.
What's your point, Suneet Chopra?
You see, it's 9 days
This
already.
government is in complete
This
denial
kind
mode.
of measures
This government
should have
is in
been
complete.
brought in 24 hours.
Yes, Suneet Chopra, I think.
The second thing is, you have this
Mr.
2.5
Chopra, you have to
lakh wedding, right? Yes, and 530 crores has been spent. What action has the government taken against those great...
You know, the point, to take forward the point of a constructive opposition, you
people
asked
who
about
were
whether the
doing
government,
the
Rahul
mining
Narwekar,
laws.
Suneet Chopra, 1 second. Rahul Narwekar, because Suneet Chopra made the point of a constructive opposition and that the fact that the government is running away. Just want to ask you your opinion on what's happening outside Parliament. You have Mamata Banerjee, the West Bengal Chief Minister in Delhi. You have Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, with Mamata Banerjee. And instead of just talking about demonetization and helping proactively the people on the streets, there are protests on the street by politicians. And two, they're talking about issues which are completely unrelated. Arvind Kejriwal, for example, today spoke about a scam. And he's been talking about a scam. And secondly, he spoke about a bribe, an alleged bribe, wild charges, using the issue of farmers, using the issue of the common man. Do you agree with this opportunism of politicians at the same time when you're seeking accountability? Rahul Narwekar.
Well, let me tell you, while you level the charge of the opposition not being constructive, opposition not cooperating with the government, let me tell you, you can wake up a person, you can try making sense to a person who's ignorant about facts, but a person who is pretending to be ignorant, what can you do with such people? Now tell me, the Honorable Finance Minister of this country, made a statement today before the media saying that the situation with regards to currency has returned to normalcy, the queues have reduced, there is no panic situation, there is absolutely normalcy in the country. Now I want to ask the Finance Minister, can a single member of Parliament from the Bharatiya Janata Party stand up and repeat what he has stated in the Parliament and then go and face his constituency? There is not even one constituency in this country which has returned to normalcy. And forget the opposition. Can the members of the ruling government, the parties of the ruling government, any member stand up in Parliament and say that there is normalcy in his constituency? I defy them.
Yeah,
I challenge them to say that in Parliament.
Yeah, GVL, how long is it going to take?
Let me flip the question to Narwekar.
1 minute, Rahul, just let him respond to that question. Rahul Narwekar, let him respond to that question. We'll come back to
Okay,
it.
one question at a time. Rahul, one question at a time.
Can
You
I
respond to your first question.
back to Narwekar?
Number two.
Rahul Narwekar, 1 minute. Let GVL respond to that question of yours.
Can I respond?
Yes, 1 minute. Let him respond to that question of yours.
Yeah, respond. Question one. Yeah.
Yeah. You see, how? Let me flip the question back to the NCP representative. How can you expect an opposition to be constructive, which is obdurate, an opposition which is politically bankrupt and has possibly suffered a huge financial bankruptcy as a result of the sudden decision? So it's their own misery that they are trying to really articulate.
This is the problem now. GVL Narasimha Rao and Rahul Narwekar, this is the problem. Now here we are trying to do a constructive debate of how to ensure that the problems are resolved. GVL Narasimha Rao and Rahul Narwekar is exactly the problem. We are trying to do a constructive debate about the issues and how those issues should be resolved. But this is another round of what is happening inside the Parliament.
Within 10 minutes,
you all are still attacking each other without coming out with anything constructive.
1 minute.
I'm sorry, I need to go to Dr. Sunil Kumar Singh also because he's not even yet come on the debate and made his point out. Dr. Singh, yes, Rahul, 1 minute.
You have
This is to all politicians.
Sorry, you have leveled a serious charge against the opposition. You have to give me an opportunity.
Across political parties, not just the opposition here.
Assuming, yes.
Political.
Yes, so let me get in Sunil Kumar Singh and get his response also. Let me get in Sunil Kumar Singh and get his response also, Rahul, so that you can together then question the BJP on this.
Hold on,
Dr. Sunil Kumar Singh, your party has been playing it very safe. Rahul, 1 minute. Yes, 1 minute. Hold on. There is a panelist here on the show who's not yet spoken and even said a word. Can we just go to him, please, Rahul Narwekar? No. 1 minute. I am not going to allow you to speak right now. I want to go to Dr. Sunil Kumar Singh.
You are trying to escape. You are trying to escape. Just a minute.
No, you.
Arey, 1 minute. Somebody who's on your side of the debate also should make a point. Rahul Narwekar.
The opposition want to.
Listen to me, Rahul Narwekar. Dr. Sunil Kumar Singh has not yet spoken on the debate.
It's proving to be a destructive opposition, not a constructive opposition. If you have arguments, you can speak in parliament. If you are scared that the Prime Minister has become popular, if you are scared that you will suffer political losses.
Okay, 1 second. There's confusion in the opposition ranks, and I'll tell you. GVL, don't respond. GVL, don't respond. 1 second. GVL, don't respond.
I've been very explicit.
GVL, don't respond. 1 second. GVL, don't respond. 1 second. There is complete confusion. I'm really happy that you're talking about the unity of the opposition and standing up for the opposition, Rahul Narwekar. I'll tell you why. Because you have two sets of the opposition. Opposition parties like the...
Can you explain about the divide within the government?
Yes, we've spoken about that. We've spoken about that.
What about the Shiv
There is
Sena?
no
We've spoken about it. Rahul, if you let me make a point.
Together.
Yeah, I will talk about that. 1 second.
Stakeholders together.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for raising that point. I'll talk about.
First deal with the government.
I'll talk about that, right? Yes, there is a divide within the government. And if I'm not wrong, there was a meeting today. The Home Minister reached out to Uddhav Thackeray and Uddhav came on board. So let's keep it at that. The facts are the Shiva Sena is now on board.
So what is it?
Point number one. Point number two.
Is it about a
Rahul, let me make my point, Rahul. Rahul, let me make my point. Rahul, let me make my point. 1 second.
Is it about pacifying the partners or is it about a concern about the nation?
It is a concern. That's why I want to ask my question to Sunil Kumar Singh, because you spoke for an opposition, but the opposition is divided. You have one section that wants a rollback, one section that is marching to the president, the other section calling this demand foolish, calling the march foolish. So thank you for speaking to the opposition as a whole, but the truth is they're divided. For example, Sunil Kumar Singh, my question to you, right? You have Sharad Yadav, who on the floor of the house says the decision of the government has hit honest people the most. All markets are closed. Farmers and daily wage earners are suffering. This is Sharad Yadav of the JDU inside Parliament. Nitish Kumar, chief of the JDU at a rally yesterday. The move is great. I support the Prime Minister's move. I support the government's move against black money. Implementation could have been better. So on one hand, you have your party leader and the Chief Minister of Bihar saying it's a great move. On the other, you have Sharad Yadav saying something else inside Parliament. So who really speaks for your party? There is confusion in the opposition, and that's the point I was trying to make. Sunil Kumar Singh.
First of all, Niranjan and Tina, thanks for remembering me that I am also here.
That's Tanvi. That's Tanvi.
Dr. Singh, this is Tanvi here.
Yeah, go ahead.
We in national interest and as a matter of principle, as a matter of policy, we support demonetization or any crusade of the central government against the black money, the terrorism or the corruption. In fact, Mr. Nitish Kumar was one of the first few leaders to congratulate the Prime Minister on the move, and that he has reiterated yesterday also. But on the other hand, he has also questioned the way of implementation. He was taking a cue at that, and I think that had it been properly implemented, it would have been better. Because the common man, especially the housewives...
Dr. Sunil Kumar Singh, that's the whole point here. Dr. Sunil Kumar Singh, that's the whole point here. Yeah, I think your party is playing it the most safe. At least the others in the opposition have taken a very clear stand. JDU is neither here nor there. Now, if you are saying that the implementation could have been better, we welcome the move, then where is your contribution to how this could be better? Do you have anything to say about how to reduce the long queues? Do you have anything to say about how to reduce the pain in the farmer sector? Do you have anything to say about how to ensure that the misuse of the Jan Dhan accounts shouldn't happen? That's one of the biggest problems that the government is facing today. Do you have anything to contribute to the fact that people are standing multiple times in the queue and actually turning their black money into white, which is why the government had to reduce the limit from 4,500 to 2,000 for just one time? Now, why is the government coming out with these ideas alone? If you think you back this move, isn't your party also responsible to bring in something constructive on the table? Give me one example, please.
Definitely, I'll give you two striking examples. Because of this concern, it was at the instance of JDU only that Lok Sabha went to a debate yesterday, number one. And number two, that Mr. Nitish Kumar has suggested to the central government and the Prime Minister that this black money of this way out cannot be complete because most of the black money is stashed as real estate. So, a crusade against Benami property is also required.
To which the government, I think, has already indicated, Dr. Singh, to which the government government has already indicated, the Prime Minister himself has said that this is not the end of it all. This is just the beginning.
And he spoke about Benami properties. The government has also said, in fact, the Prime Minister, I think, was on a speech.
Properties.
Yeah, the Prime Minister in a speech on Sunday.
Black money has three phases. They
said
tell you the
Benami property
generation, the money
crackdown is
flow
next.
and the stashing. The generation has not been attempted, the money flow has not been attempted, the stashing is like in Benami properties. That's what Mr. Nitish Kumar said yesterday.
Okay.
Mr. Sharda, you want to come in on this? This is the problem here, Ratan Sharda. This is the problem here. Everybody wants to raise what's going wrong in the system, but we don't see anything constructive, helpful coming out from any of the parties. It's just become such a redundant political debate, Ratan Sharda.
See, the first thing is,
Front and listen.
nobody has seen such an action since independence. 1978 was a point when economy was so small. Big notes are just 5% or 1% of the total revenue. Now they form 85% of the revenue. So this issue, which was for the first time taken so courageously, requires a lot of innovative solutions. Now government is finding innovative solutions and opposition is salivating at the very chance that government may falter, so they can blame them. So it's just a blame game they are playing. They have no positive idea. JD itself could not control bootlegging in Bihar. They have to go to court every time. They create such strong laws which they cannot implement. How do you imagine putting thousands of lakhs of people in inconvenience? There have to be flexible policies, approaches. Only then solution is possible.
Yeah.
And that's what government is doing.
Okay.
If they stand by, they should only talk about what they can do in their constituency, in their state, and how they can do it. Look at Odisha.
Yeah.
In Odisha, Naveen Patnaik himself gave solutions. He has his own team to solve it. Has any state done what Naveen Patnaik has done in Odisha?
I think there are several states that have done it. Ratan Sharda, I think several states have done it. I think, if I'm not wrong, Assam has taken an initiative, Arunachal Pradesh has taken an initiative. Somewhere in parts of Uttar Pradesh, we understand that Akhilesh Yadav government has also taken an initiative. Not speaking for any government here, but just putting the facts out there. Suneet Chopra, I want to ask you, because you spoke about how the government was not willing to listen to you, right? I'm asking you because does the CPM have a concrete alternative plan to alleviate the concerns of the common man in the light of this decision? Of course, you are making a point, you're making a strong point in Parliament, but do you have any suggestions on what the government should do? Because I don't see any suggestions coming forth, just complaints.
No, the suggestions are very clear. I can tell you. You see how many crores of rupees have been given away to black money makers as concessions, but you have not given one concession to a farmer.
What are you referring
know
to,
that
sir?
in
You
the
want to be
villages,
specific?
if a farmer takes
Don't make
20,000
generalized statement.
rupees,
No, you want to be
it's thrown
specific.
into
Don't
the
make
local
generalized
local
statements. These
hawala.
are typical communist tactics.
It's not generalized.
Make a clear
I've had to
statement.
open them and free them.
Make a clear
Yes.
target.
Make
Who has
sense.
run
Not
Hawala?
generalized.
Hawala stopped because of this.
The reality
Hawala was run by
is
UPA,
you
who
have
CPA was
given
supporting.
lakhs of crores
Don't make
to
unnecessary
those who are
allegations.
multiplying black money.
Make proper
And when you
allegation or
give
proper
them that
criticism.
money, they're going to get
You were
stronger.
running with UPA when Hawala was at the top of the whole thing.
And Ratan
You were
Sharda,
supporting
my
it.
question- Ratan Sharda, let's not forget.
Hawala has stopped now. Please
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, Ratan Sharda.
Terrorism people have got no money now.
Yeah,
Kashmir
Ratan
has
Sharda,
got
I
no
don't
money
know
now.
what Hawala
So what are you
has
crying
stopped.
about?
Yeah,
If you
you're talking
think
about
Hawala
Hawala and
has
counterfeit.
stopped, then you're
Suneet
living
Chopra,
in cloud
Suneet
cuckoo
Chopra,
land.
Suneet Chopra, because you said you have specific solutions, I want to ask you, because
Ji.
we are talking about black money, you're talking about Hawala, we're talking about counterfeit and fake currency. I'm asking you because you
Hawala
represent the
is
CPIM.
is
You're
the way
representing
the
the
black
CPIM
money
here.
goes out of this country and comes in.
CPIM was in power
Their
for
friends,
34 years.
Maoists are suffering.
Hawala is,
CPIM
in
was
fact,
in power
Whole of
for
Naxalite
34
movement
years.
is suffering.
The lifeline
They're
of
close
black
friends.
money.
Ratan Sharda, let me complete my question. Suneet Chopra, your left government was in power for
Yes,
34
CPM
years in
is
West Bengal. What did
criticizing
you do in
because their
Malda?
Maoist friends are suffering now.
No, most of the fake currency comes into India from Malda and Murshidabad. Half of India's fake currency comes in from Malda and Murshidabad. You were in
Who
power
looks after
for
the
34
border?
years.
The central
So while
government,
you're giving us
not the
generic
state
statements, I
government.
want to
They
ask you,
close
what
their
did your
eyes.
government do for 34 years?
Making allegations that cannot be held up.
You're talking
It's
about
the
Malda and
central government
Murshidabad.
who looks at what is coming in and going out of the country.
It's a
These
fact,
are
it's a
police
recorded
records,
fact.
sir. These are police records. You are making unsubstantiated allegations.
Well, it's easy to just say that there are no facts to back it, so let's not even talk about it because it is a widely accepted problem and we've not seen a solution. But just bringing in GVL Narasimha Rao back on this debate. Now, GVL Narasimha Rao, you said that the common man and everybody is backing this, they're ready to face this inconvenience, yes. But now that we are talking about bringing more solutions on the table, are you aware of the fact that in rural parts of Ajmer, Rajasthan, villagers have been forced to adopt the credit system to cope up with the ill effects of demonetization? In fact, in Rajasthan again, which is ruled by BJP government, in order to avail the facility of an ATM, people have to travel about 8 to 10 kilometers, given that the region only has 9 banks for 51 villages. And there is no, of course, guarantee that when they walk so much, they will still get money for essential purposes, for daily use purposes. Now, what is the solution that the government has in its mind? Like, was the government not aware that the entire country still doesn't have a bank account or an Aadhaar card? That these will be practical problems that will arise?
The problem is that all negative stories have got covered in the
Absolutely
media,
not.
particularly in the television
Absolutely
media.
not.
But let me.
I will not take that. I will not take that allegation from you.
Let me draw attention.
No, Mr. Rao. It's not been all negative. We've actually shown the positive side of it through across the cities and even the villages. But these are genuine issues, and I want a specific answer to this.
I think your government had already announced that banking correspondents will go to villages and dispense cash. They will carry 50,000 each time. If required, they will make multiple trips. Micro ATMs have already been pressed into service. I think government is considering all possible measures and alleviating the problems. But unfortunately, the positive stories don't get the same mention.
Of course this is. We spoke about it just when the government came out and announced it, GVL Narasimha Rao. You cannot make that charge. We spoke about it when the government came out with that announcement. I opened this debate by starting with the announcements that the government has made and how it's trying to resolve the issues. So please don't make it about one side.
No, I'm not talking about you alone. I'm talking about the media in general. Television media has been focusing only on the negative stories, largely on the queues at the banks. 3 lakh farmers are paid through direct bank transfer today. Indian Express reports. I don't find it on any television channel. Yesterday, Gujarat Economic Times had a report how all milk cooperatives across the country with millions of farmers have begun to transfer money into their accounts. I don't find any mention of it on television. I think unfortunately
I can actually also start quoting you print stories which are negative and have not found a mention on television, GVL. So let's not go there. I'm not even asking you about how there are now reports coming out of bribes already being paid in Gujarat with the new currencies. Where was the response of the government on that? So let's not go there, but I think Mr. Suneet Chopra has a response to you.
Nobody is claiming that corruption will disappear. It will have to be combined with a lot of other policy measures. Government has already initiated many of them, and there are many more that will follow. Because it's an ecosystem that we have to develop.
Yeah.
This surgical strike is one of the solutions. Benami property will certainly be on the lookout.
Yeah.
Government has the new Benami Amendment Bill. The act has come into force from 1st of November, and anyone who holds Benami property today is not sleeping well.
Yeah, GVL.
And the attack is happening on all fronts.
Yeah.
So when you transition to a new economy, you will have certain pain.
Yeah,
but the government is trying its best to ensure that this pain is minimized.
Yeah.
The opposition is really worried that they are losing the political ground.
Yeah, got that. We put that question to the opposition, GVL.
Because if we were losing political ground, they would have actually been celebrating. They would have been celebrating if we were losing political ground.
Suneet Chopra, don't speak over in 1 second.
At the receiving end.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you that yes, it is good. And you know, it's unfair at this point to say that you covered this side of the story and you didn't cover that the other side. In fact, if you ask the opposition, they will complain. They will complain and tell you that we have been fairly for this decision. In fact, we are saying that it is a good step in the fight against black money, but implementation, somewhere something has gone wrong. You even asked Ratan Sharda, who's backing you on this debate. Even Ratan Sharda, who's backing you on this debate, leans towards the RSS. Even he agrees.
Just 1 minute, yes.
Even he agrees.
A very positive step I would suggest.
Problems.
I would suggest.
You want to tell GVL?
The basic reason for black money is complex tax laws. Let the government decide that laws will be simplified, taxation will be simplified, so people don't have an incentive to create black money.
Absolutely.
That is the root cause.
Yeah.
If you have lower taxes, easier taxes to pay, easier compliances, half the reason, half the motivation to create black money would go.
Yeah, even GVL, that's what, even Ratan Sharda, who's backing you largely, he's questioning the implementation, and that's the only limited point that we were trying to make, because we have several examples, we've quoted that to you. Just Gurmeetkal village in Karnataka. GVL, listen to this. 1 second. Gurmeetkal village in Karnataka, residents after demonetization, they were forced to travel as much as 40 kilometers to Yadgir district to exchange currency. I'm just telling you, I know there are banking correspondents, and yes, this happened 7 days. GVL, 7 days. We broke that story here. 7 days after the announcement. I'm only saying this is something you could have thought about, because the rural population of India is 850 million, or 65% of India's total populations. GVL.
No, you see, any report that is in the media which is highlighting a problem has been taken note of by the government, and action has been immediately on priority is being initiated.
Yeah.
We think that we want the entire country, including the media, to be to assist the government in implementing this painlessly with as minimal pain as possible. And I think I would admit that you've been largely supporting the cause. But I do feel that there are some positive stories which have not been
GVL
covered
is not
by
about
a large
taking
number
sides.
of networks.
GVL is not about taking sides, and you know that. GVL is not about taking sides, it's about fair reporting.
No,
we've been fair in our reporting on both sides.
Like some opposition leaders also have done. Some opposition leaders like Nitish Kumar have also done that.
Yeah, he's backed your government.
We welcome support because it's in national interest. This is not a political program.
Okay.
This is a government's initiative that has large implications, long-term implications for cleansing our economy.
Yeah.
It's a major reform measure. So anyone who is supporting is doing it for a cause.
Actually,
just supporting because we are in power.
Yes, and so running out of time here very quickly, since there is one opposition party who still is quite frankly backing you, and I just want to get in a word from Dr. Singh on that. Dr. Singh, can you assure us, and probably take all the other opposition parties along with you, to say we will participate in a more constructive debate in the coming days in the parliament? This is going to be the focus. Let's not make it about where you went wrong, what you didn't do, where you're going wrong. We told you so, we didn't do that. Let's make it about solving the problems. This is the problem, this is the solution. Can you, Dr. Singh, and your party, the JDU and Nitish Kumar, take charge on that instead of spreading panic like Arvind Kejriwal and Mamata Banerjee are?
Tina, when you asked GVL about the concessions to be given in the health sector so that 500 and 1,000 rupee notes should be accepted there, the way he replied, that shows their motive. I think they should have implement a better way, taking the common man into consideration, and like they said, they had a meticulous planning. But the notes, whatever notes that had signature of Mr. Urjit Patel, who has been governor for the past 2 months only, and they say they have been preparing for long. I think still they should agree to it. Yes, there was a kind of a lack of planning, so now they should improve.
Yeah.
And like in healthcare sector, their attitude, once you said that healthcare concessions should be there, the GVL replied, no. And finance minister said, everybody will become a money changer. And he said, I have talked to the hospitals and they don't face any difficulty. He must have talked to the corporate hospitals. Most of the hospitals are in private clinics, small hospitals in districts and rural areas. They should have concessions.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's make that the beginning. And Dr. Singh, I will pass on your message to Tina, who is not here. This is Tanvi, who's been debating for the last 1 hour. But the focus here needs to be for all politicians to understand, no problem, for all politicians to understand that, Niranjan, that perhaps the government can do more on healthcare. Let's make that the takeaway.
Yeah, that's just the limited point that we've been making. Good move. Bad implementation. Good move, bad implementation. And the good news is, for now, there are measures being taken every single day. We have every day at least 10 new measures coming out to sort of help the people on the ground who are eventually going to benefit or suffer because of this. The good news is the government is taking measures. Let's hope that continues. Thank you for joining us on debate number 2 on the Newshour tonight.